Hello traders, welcome to the weekly watch list. My name is Jeff Kohler, aka the Option Addict from www.tradingaddicts.com. Let's start off with a little bit of market analysis. So as of this time that I write this, it's about 6:27 my time, about 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Right now, futures prices are off quite a bit. The Dow to the tune of about 278 points, the S&P about 34, and the NASDAQ 41. So we're going to see the market open a little bit lower this weekend, and that's because over the weekend we haven't seen anything transpire with the garage sale they've been having over at Lehman Brothers. And we saw on Friday not only Lehman Brothers but also AIG, Merrill Lynch, some of the financial names were getting crushed. So for those that were optimistic that we would see something happen with Lehman Brothers over the weekend, so far that is not the case, and that's going to weigh pretty heavily on the market heading into this week. Also, the damage from Hurricane Ike is mounting up left and right, and we've also, from what I read, we've got about 15 refineries closed. So that refiner trade working out extremely well, likely to carry over into tomorrow, but I don't think they're going to last too much longer than that. In terms of economic announcements this week and what's going on the economic calendar, we've got a lot. We've got the Fed meeting and CPI on Tuesday, so keep an eye on Fed fund futures because all of a sudden they've been starting to creep up here at the end of last week, and I imagine we're going to see a little bit of that heading into that meeting tomorrow, which does suggest that they are pricing in a chance, albeit a small one, but a very small chance that the Fed actually cuts rates at this next meeting on Tuesday. So keep an eye on Fed fund futures. If that starts to move a little bit higher and the Fed does cut, that could be the catalyst to send stocks higher. If not, if we don't see any better news coming about Lehman Brothers here heading into next week, then it could be another stock liquidation sale. We've also got housing starts coming out this week, some more housing data for the homies, which, as we've been observing, continues to be a very, very strong group and a relative strength play in this horrible market. So as is customary, I'm going to throw out a couple dips, rips, breakouts, and breakdowns for you this week, so here you go. Next, let's look at a couple of price patterns. I got quite a few this week, and let's start with the Hub Group, ticker symbol HUBG. And what you can see here, symmetrical triangle happening on the 1-year chart. You can see it's about 4 points wide, give or take, which is about 10% of the underlying. I like to see that. Recently, we've seen a little bit of strength here in this pattern, but still no breakout. So watch for a break either to the upside or the downside to confirm a bullish or a bearish position this week, which should make for a pretty good move. Next, we've got Genzyme, ticker symbol GENZ. Potential head and shoulders formation. You can see both shoulders coming in here at about $80 per share. Stock stabilized right here at about $80 per share. And looks like it might be ready to start turning over. Volume was pretty weak on this last leg higher, so keep an eye on that for some put options. Next, PKG. Nice little resistance area right through here at about $26 per share. The stock breaking out. Volume really, really weak on this most recent move to the upside. But if you look at least over the last couple months here, we've got kind of an ascending triangle. If you switch over to a line chart, it's going to look a little bit better. But nonetheless, we're looking at a little bit of a breakout here. Cheap stock, not too volatile. I like stocks like that nowadays. Next, I'm going to be looking at ticker symbol CNC. Kind of an illiquid stock, about 500,000 shares traded. Maybe a good stock purchase here at about $25 per share. You can see it's nice little ascending triangle here breaking out to the upside. Looks pretty good. Next, I've got Express Scripts, ESRX. You can see this little downward channel that it broke out of on Thursday. Good continuation to the upside on Friday. But as you scale out here, take a look at a 1-year chart. And you'll see the prices are not looking too bad. Looks like we got a little bit of a triangle formation and a breakout and a retest off those levels. Next, ticker symbol LPNT. LifePoint, we've got a nice little flag formation here. And I'd measure this from about 32 up to as high as about 36, a 3-point move. Looks like it's getting ready to start to bust out of that, so I like that for a trade here. Based on these old highs, makes it pretty easy to manage. Next, ticker symbol PSYS. Symmetrical triangle here. You can see a little bit of volume as it broke to the downside here on Friday. So this might be a pretty big reversal. You'll see this measures about 8 points wide, so that could be a pretty big decline heading into next week. Next, we've got ticker symbol CBRL. And we talked about this last week, but the restaurant sector really got manhandled last week on a couple of downgrades and some lower guidance by Chipotle. But what I'm looking at here is just a short-term double top. I think we got a lot of room here to the downside for this thing to fall down to its support level. And by that point, if you see a little bit of a breakdown, you could eventually test the lows. So looking at this right here, in terms of the technical setup, I like it. Next, we're going to look at a monster descending triangle on Safeway, ticker symbol SWY. Pretty liquid stock here, trades a lot of shares, sitting right at support. So if you get a little bit of a breakdown here, I'd look to short any strength in Safeway. So if we break to the downside and come up and retest the underside of support here, that's why I'd be looking to get long some puts. Next is Varian, ticker symbol VAR. Been relatively strong here in this recent market climate, and looks like a little bit of a pennant that's formed over here the last month or so. Volume's been pretty high. What I'm watching for here is a breakout, so whichever direction this thing wants to spin, I want to get involved. Next is Big Lots. It's kind of a longer term pattern going on here, but it's working its way up to resistance and what looks to be so far an ascending triangle. So this one's probably a few weeks away, but at least have this on your radar in the meantime. I wouldn't be trading it right here because we're in the middle of support and resistance. Makes it a little bit harder to manage the trade. But if we get any dips down here towards, let's say, 31 or so, I'd be looking to buy those. Last but not least, Fuel Systems, ticker symbol FSYS. If you look at this here, got a nice little flag pattern that's formed. As with all flags, don't get aggressive here. Wait for a breakout. If it breaks to the upside of this resistance here, this will be a great trade heading into next week, considering the atmosphere. Well, folks, that'll do it for me today. There's a few trade ideas to take with you heading into the week. If you want a little more detail to find out how we're actually implementing these trades, what options we're buying, come visit us at www.tradingaddicts.com. Have a great week in the market this week, folks. And in the meantime, this has been The Option Addict. That right there is my watch list. Thanks for watching. Take care.
You're gonna learn to discipline your image. Do you think I got where I am today because I dress like Peter Pan here? Take a look at what I'm wearing, people. Do you think anybody wants a roundhouse kick to the face while I'm wearing these bad boys? Forget about it. Now, for only $300, you can sign up right now for my 8-week program.